RuPaul Charles is an actor, singer-songwriter, television personality, and also the most commercially successful drag queen in the U.S. RuPaul was born November 17, 1960 in San Diego, California. After studying performing arts in Atlanta, he later moved to New York City and quickly became a popular nightlife figure. During this time, club kid culture in the 80s began to challenge what we think of gender. What is a club kid? Club kids were a group of partygoers in New York City in the 80s who aesthetically combated gender with their DIY costumes that focused on themes of outrageousness, fabulousness, and glamour. This was different from the direction of the ball scene 10 years prior. The ball scene was more focused on categories. Doing drag for a ball was more about realness or being able to pass as the opposite gender. Some examples of media showing the ball scene include the great documentary Paris is Burning and the contemporary Pose on FX. I admire RuPaul for overcoming all the odds, starting with poverty as a child, racism, homophobia, addiction, and gender stereotypes. I think RuPaul has a great quote relating to social constructionism. He says, "We're all born naked and the rest is drag." What he means by this is gender is a performative aspect of ourselves. Whether you're a firefighter putting on your uniform or Katy Perry dressing as a chandelier for the Met Gala, you are doing drag. The idea of drag combats gender, and I think RuPaul being the figurehead is important, not only to say, hey, this is an option, but also, look, I was told I couldn't do this. RuPaul now hosts the very popular show on VH1, RuPaul's Drag Race. I think this is a great platform to be able to talk about gender since the origins of drag come from dismantling gender stereotypes and having fluidity in it. I think having a show relating to these topics, he should tell our younger generations about the culture and history that came before. I think that there were times within the show that the message about gender became skewed, and it almost seemed as if he was saying there were right ways and wrong ways to perform gender and to do drag. If I had the chance to talk to RuPaul, I'd ask him how he thinks gender performance affects us today compared to when he started drag, and if he thinks that as a society, we still need gender. I would ask these questions specifically because in almost every interview I have seen with him, he talks about the construction of self through expression, but not the ambiguity of gender through drag. He doesn't speak specifically on gender as much as he does self-expression, and I would like to know his thoughts and opinions on it. Though I do think there are things RuPaul could fix with the delivery of his message, it is undeniable RuPaul made many people question what gender is and how it affects us. He understands the fluidity of gender and how it is constructed and has the platform to help others understand as well. I think in the grand scope of RuPaul's life and career, he has experienced many different sides and aspects of gender. I think he has a life experience to be able to teach people about themselves, our society, the history of the community, and what all of this means in a historical and societal context. I would consider RuPaul a gender rebel. He's changed how people view self-expression and gender construction, and I thank him for his work.